Coming up, New York experienced their deadliest terror attack since 9/11.
Our very own Ashley Geppetta is in New York with what she experienced this week.
I'm Brennen Scarborough.
And I'm Kaitlyn Martens, and Eagle 7 News starts right now.
Earlier this week on Halloween, a Manhattan truck was rented by a 29-year-old suspected terrorist who drove into cyclists and runners. Our own Ashley Geppetta is currently studying abroad in New York and shares her perspective.
Less than a mile from where I currently live in Manhattan, New York City experienced its deadliest terrorist attack since 9/11. The incident happened on the west side of the city on the Hudson River Park Bikeway, one of the busiest bike paths in the city. 8 people were killed and nearly a dozen were injured when suspect Sayfullo Saipov, aged 29, drove a rented truck and plowed down pedestrians and cyclists. Police and FBI officials continue to work on the investigation as they search to uncover why and how the attack happened. New Yorkers are being urged to carry on as normal, and security has been increased throughout the city. Despite the bike paths being closed off, pedestrians and bikers continue to navigate around the crime scene. Everyone in my journalism semester program at the King's College in New York is thankfully safe. Reporting live from New York City, this is Ashley Geppetta with Eagle 7 News.
Thanks, Ashley. We're all glad to see that you and your classmates remained safe during the attack.
For a college athlete, each year of eligibility is coveted. I caught up with a UNW athlete who has recently learned the importance of their performance in the classroom as well as on the field.
Over the summer, I went to summer training project, and we were just working out one day, and I got a phone call from Coach Moore, and he said, "You're not eligible to play next season. Like, you can't play football this fall." And it seemed like everything was just kind of like falling apart. Like, I'm not going to be able to play.
After a great start to his collegiate career, George Obitz received news that no athlete wants to hear. He was academically ineligible.
So like, I didn't really develop really good study habits, or just my attitude towards school in general was really bad. It was always football first and then school.
After seeing numerous cases like George, the Northwestern Athletic Office needed to find a way to help create positive academic habits.
Probably 2009, 2010 was kind of brainstorming about how can we set up our student athletes for success during their time at Northwestern.
We noticed some gaps that were happening. We'd find out too late that students were struggling, so we started ESP to make sure we stayed on top of that.
The Eagle Success Program, better known as ESP, is a mandatory study hall created to help incoming freshmen and transfer students to get accustomed to a college workload.
We just kind of knew that we wanted it not just to be a time of supervised study time. Can we take a few minutes and give them some practical tools to apply to study strategies?
And how has ESP affected the athletes? The numbers speak for themselves.
We've seen students retain more in different sports, graduate quicker, and their GPAs have gone up since we've done ESP. Our freshman student athletes perform better than the general student population does for freshmen.
Along with the academic advantages, ESP has helped students to realize the importance of their education.
Understand that they're not here to major in their sport. They're here to get a degree. That yes, we want you to come to our school. We want to be a viable football program, but we want to invest in you. We want to set you up for success beyond your time at Northwestern.
And for George, that's a lesson he learned all too well.
First and foremost, it's education and faith, and then football and athletics come after that.
Ben Johnson, Eagle 7 News. The number 12 UNW volleyball team advanced to the UMAC championship game after a dominant 3-0 sweep over the Martin Luther Knights Wednesday night. Lindsey Peterson led the way with 17 kills, while Kaylin Kilbo dished out 20 assists. In our game of the week, the number 1 seed in the UMAC, Northwestern, will host the number 2 seed, Minnesota Morris, Saturday night at 7 p.m. inside the Erickson Center. The winner will receive an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Tickets are free with a valid student ID. Postseason for both men and women's soccer is officially underway after coming off of a perfect season in the UMAC, going 11-0. The #1 seed Lady Eagles hosted Northland College yesterday on Reynolds Field, while the 3rd-seeded men's team traveled to UW Superior to take on the Yellow Jackets. Head to our social media sites for scores and updates. UNW's club hockey team will soon hit the rinks, with all of their top players returning and with many strong additions to the roster. The team will look to have a successful season. They open the season against Carleton College on November 17th inside the Schwann Super Rink in Blaine on rink number 3 at 9:30. Then on December 8th, they look to take on rival Bethel University. Head to Northwestern's hockey Facebook page for more information. Sasha, does it look like the snow will continue to fall this week?
It looks like as we head into the weekend, we will be getting some snow on this Friday. And as we go into the weekend, we will have steady temperatures in the 40s, and they'll slightly drop back down into the mid-30s. And then luckily on Wednesday, we'll get a little bit of sunshine. That's all I have for the weather. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Sasha. Bon Appetit was recently ranked in the top 200 food services in the U.S. Eagle 7's David Kelso talked with a Northwestern student who can handle the heat of the kitchen.
Students that eat here day in and day out don't realize what they have.
And it's more than just omelets.
When I'm not on the omelet line, there's outrage.
Ben Lyons, a familiar face behind the glass on the Sunday brunch line, is also a manager for Bon Appetit.
The most impressive thing to me about Bon Appetit is their commitment to sustainability and high quality local products. It's no surprise that we came out towards the top.
Lyons attended culinary school instead of high school before coming to Northwestern for business management. And he has a dream of his own of making it to the top someday.
So my dream is to eventually open my own restaurant down the road. It's been my goal since I was a little kid, and taking steps step by step to get there.
One of those steps has been Bon Appetit. Some core beliefs of the company have rubbed off on Lyons in his 3.5 years working for them.
3 things that I've learned while working for Bon Appetit would be, number 1, managing people is not always easy. Number 2 is a commitment to quality, whether it's going to take longer, be harder. Quality food is what we stand for. And number 3 is just a commitment to treating your fellow employees well. Bon Appetit, they really look out for their employees, and that's a great value to stand on.
Lyons will be graduating this December and has been accepted into the #1 culinary management grad program in the country, Cornell University. As part of the program, he will be moving to Hungary to manage a kitchen in a large hotel.
There's a lot of things about Northwestern and Bon Appetit that I'm going to miss. Just the relationships with the people, even here at Bon Appetit, the different chefs, and just the experience of being in this culture of honoring God in everything we do.
While there is a lot to miss, Lyons is excited for what the future holds.
I look forward to this challenge of working in secular kitchens with different people and just spreading the gospel through that.
But even halfway across the world, Lyons will never forget the small bit of joy he was able to serve at Bon Appetit.
When I flip that omelet and add that cheese, I know it's just going to be something that brings happiness to someone on a Sunday afternoon.
I know I love Ben's omelets for Sunday brunch, and we will all miss him next semester, but wish him best of luck in this new chapter of life.
It's that time of year again when Apple releases their new iPhone. This year, Apple didn't only release 1, but 3 new iPhones. Northwestern alumni and current Apple employee Eric Fast has been working at the Apple Store for a few months now.
I think they're revolutionary and definitely a game changer in the phone world.
What are some new features the iPhones have?
The Face ID, like I said, and the bezel-less display, full screen, no home button, which is pretty cool.
The iPhone X just came out last week and starting at a whopping $999. Well, Kaitlyn, luckily we have that just lying around. We'll probably go pick one up after this.
Oh, absolutely. I'm hanging there right after.
Okay, and that's all we have for Eagle 7 this week. I'm Brennen Scarborough.
And I'm Kaitlyn Martens. Stay fly, Eagles.